I'm not going to be able to locate myself on the political spectrum in the U.S. in such a clear way, but I think we're just seeing the tip of the iceberg with the attack on Ned, USAID. Elon Musk is going to move towards the Department of Education. He's going to move towards social programs. His model is what Javier Milei is doing in Argentina. And it's not going to be, it's going to be increasingly obvious that it's about channeling money. It's going to be about channeling money back to the billionaire class. It's not going to be about saving taxpayers' money. But right now, these targets, USAID, part of it was motivated by revenge from the Trump administration. The NED was such a clear, easy target. It's, I'll take victories when they come. But politically, the U.S. is not, it's following a process that we've been on, or a trajectory we've been on since the end of the Cold War, when the Soviet Union was just destroyed by the West and from within, including by many CIA assets, and wasn't able to reform itself. It was pretty clear that the U.S., in taking on this role of unipolar domination, was going to go to the right, to the corporatist right. And we're seeing the kind of culmination of that process now, with a billionaire effectively running government. I mean, we've had billionaires running government since the Bush era, maybe before, certainly millionaires since the Reagan era, but it's so naked. It's so obvious what's taking place now. And I'm bracing for the worst. The Democrats, the opposition they're going to put up, well, we saw what they did in the first Trump term. It was Russiagate. It was McCarthyism. It was pushing for more war. The Democrats listed, the Democratic National Committee listed the Democrats' accomplishments in the past week, 5 of them on Twitter yesterday. Number one was everybody voted against Tulsi Gabbard. I don't believe
including Bernie Sanders, who once praised Tulsi Gabbard, in part because Tulsi Gabbard risked her career to defend Bernie Sanders when the Democratic Party was conspiring against him. She resigned from the DNC, called out the corruption against him, along with taking progressive positions that Bernie Sanders has long echoed as well. And what does Bernie Sanders do? After voting for Marco Rubio, to confirm Marco Rubio, Bernie Sanders voted to confirm Marco Rubio, with whom I'm confident Bernie Sanders shares close to 0 positions. He voted against Tulsi Gabbard, which just shows that despite being an independent, he's acting like a partisan hack. And one could maybe argue, well, Bernie Sanders, one could maybe say, well, Tulsi Gabbard's taken an unconscionable position on Palestine. She smeared anti-genocide protesters. So therefore, everyone should vote against her. Okay. But you can't make that argument if you're Bernie Sanders, because he voted to confirm Marco Rubio, career neocon Marco Rubio. So Bernie voting for Tulsi Gabbard to me was just such
against.
Say it again.
Against Tulsi Gabbard.
Bernie voting against Tulsi Gabbard was just another reminder that Bernie is not guided by principles. The same Bernie Sanders that also voted for the Ukraine proxy war, that said he defers to Joe Biden's judgment on that, who early on, his comments were used by AIPAC to promote Israel's genocide because Bernie Sanders was arguing against reaching a ceasefire with Hamas. That's unfortunately what the left has become in the U.S. And I keep hoping people will make
it goes back to my long rant about the CIA funding the NCL. I'm not saying Bernie's a CIA asset, although I don't know how hostile he is to them. It's just that's the kind of leftist you get in the U.S. That's the only acceptable leftist, is one who is willing to cede all or most opposition to U.S. empire and outsource his brain to a mediocre think tank lanyard like Matt Duss. He's like a social democrat. Go back to Michael Parenti's comments on Bernie, and knowing Bernie, how Michael Parenti knew him for all those years. But Bernie supported the war on Yugoslavia. He voted for the war on Libya. He was never really out in front in opposing the crimes of empire, and that's what we're left with. And Bernie himself is kind of extinguished. There is no clear successor. Like, you've got Kyle Kulinski and Crystal Ball promoting Stephen A. Smith as the great bloviating hope of the Democratic
From
Party.
ESPN, from ESPN?
That guy. They're literally, I don't know if they're like, it's like some hustle and they want to be like his consultants and get him to run some vanity campaign. But that's like the level that the Democrats were at. By the way, number 3 on the Democrats' list of accomplishments for the week was like preventing fluoride from being removed from the water in some low, like random municipality in the US. So like that's what they're achieving.
Well, I don't have a strong position on fluoride, but
no, it's not.
It's
not about whether you want fluoride in the water or not. It's like that's what you're fighting.
What I do know is that House Republicans just released their budget, and they want cuts of something like $880 billion from the part of the government that funds Medicaid, which to me is a signal that they're going to target Medicaid, despite Trump's promises. And my hope is that this time, if they care about being an actual opposition party, they'll focus on policies like that, which are horrible for working people, rather than channeling resistance energy into scams like Russiagate, or now defending the sanctity of the National Endowment for Democracy and other programs, regime change programs that Musk has been cutting. If Republicans are actually going after Medicaid, that's a major affront on working people. And that's the kind of priority that an actual genuine progressive movement would take up, along with not trying to destroy the rest of the world, which has been the Democrats' pastime for a long time now, as they've ceded their foreign policy wing to neocons. So I don't think they've learned anything at all from Trump's multiple victories, from the collapse of Russiagate, from the fact that the Ukraine proxy war is now looks like it's winding down. But I keep hoping to be proven wrong.